What is a consecutive interior angle? Well, I'll just go ahead and refresh your memory. Two angles that face each other, okay, and they're on the same side of the transversal. So that's the title of today's lesson. This is going to be slightly different. Have you guys ever thought about how they relate to each other? We've already done alternate interior, exterior, and corresponding angles, and we've proven that they're all equal to each other. This one's a little different, so let's go ahead and take a look at the same kind of diagram that we've been looking at today, September 26th. And we are going to be looking at angle 3 and angle 8. So those are those are consecutive interior because they face each other and they're on the same side of this green transversal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, again, what we've been doing, take this red line, and I'm going to drag it down. So if I do that, what do you notice about how angles 3 and 7 relate to each other? The same, right? They're equal, okay? So once I've established that, let me ask you this. How do 7 and 8 relate to each other? Funny. They're more than just adjacent. They're supplementary, okay? So listen, guys, I need you to listen. If 3 and 7 are equal and 7 and 8 are supplementary, then that means 3 and 8 are supplementary, okay? And here's what the proof looks like. Again, you don't have to write all those words down. You can just write the bottom part of the proof. But basically, since 3 and 7 are equal to each other, and since 7 and 8 are supplementary, we can replace 3 with 7 and then prove that 3 and 8 are 3 and 8 are also supplementary. Okay? So this is like a 3-step proof, okay? I'll read that. Since angles 3 and 7 are corresponding and they are equal, since 7 and 8 are supplementary and they add up to 180, again, you don't have to write all those words down, just an explanation of this simple little proof. The 3-step proof, 3 and 7 are equal, 7 and 8 are add up to 180, so 3 and 8 must add up to 180. So what this means, guys, is that all consecutive interior angles, as long as those two lines are parallel, will add up to 180, okay? So I know the previous 3 that we looked at were equal to each other, but again, like I told you guys, if we go back to this diagram, I mean, you can look and see that 3 does not equal 8, okay? Good, okay, yeah, so let's look at 2 and 5. If you use the same logic, 2 becomes 6, right? Okay, well, 6 is supplementary to 5, so 2 and 5 must also be supplementary. Okay, so 2 plus 5 would also equal 180. Works for any two consecutive interior angles. Okay, so that leads us to this statement right here. Basically, what you can get from this, you can read it, but basically what it's saying is all consecutive interior angles add up to 180 degrees. Again, just to clarify, we want to make sure those lines are parallel, okay? In other words, we talked about this in the last lesson, but if the red and blue lines weren't exactly parallel, then we can't say that for sure about 3 and 8, okay? In order for them to add up to equal 180, these two lines must be parallel. Okay. Any questions about that, or do you need to get the gist of that down? So right off the bat, be careful, right? I mean, we wouldn't just say x is equal to 137. So how would you set this one up? May you raise your hand? Yes. Yeah. Yep. So x plus 137 is equal to 180, and we know that because of 2 reasons. These are parallel lines based on those symbols, and so we just proved that consecutive interior angles add up to 180. So x plus 137 must be equal to 180. Okay. So we're going to subtract 137 from both sides, and x will be equal to 43 degrees. Okay. Okay, so pretty much it for that one. Any questions about that? I'll go ahead and label that real quick. It's going to be 43 degrees. Okay, next example. Again, be careful because you could jump to conclusions, just set these equal to each other, but they're consecutive interior. Okay, and that's why we're spending a whole day on this, to get you to understand. All the other ones we did, you set them equal to each other, but consecutive interior, like she said, they add up to 180. Okay, so here's the steps you're going to follow when you're finding. So we're going to solve for x and then find the angle A, which in this case is the top angle. Okay, we could solve for B, but we're going to be solving for A. First step is to add the consecutive interior angles up to equal 180. So we just proved that's what happens. So we're going to have 5x minus 7 plus 3x minus 61 equals 180. Make sure I copy it right. Okay, so there's step 1. In step 2, we're going to solve for the variable. I'll give you guys a second to copy all that stuff down. So 6x and 5x, 5x and 3x are like terms. 5x plus 3x. Yes, thank you. Then we're going to combine the two numbers. Minus 7 minus 61 is going to be minus 68. Okay. Now we're going to, what would you do next? Let me ask you. Add 68. Thank you, 248. Now, when I first looked at this, when I was working on this last night, I was thinking, oh, this is a hard division problem, but 248 over 8 is actually easy because 240 over 8 is 30, okay? Just like 24 over 8 is 3, 240 over 8 is 30. So 248 over 8 would be one more than that, which would give you what? 31. And of course, that's in degrees. Give you a second to copy that down. All right, now that we solved for x, the question is to solve for the angle A. So we're going to be plugging it back into 5x minus 7, which is what A is equal to. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite that right here for step 3. I'm going to plug it back in. 5x minus 7. I like to double check to make sure I wrote it down right. Okay, that's a good thing to do in math. Whenever you copy something down, make sure you copied it right, because I know for me, a lot of times I'll copy it down wrong, and of course I get the wrong answer. So, what is 5 times 31? Okay, then 155 minus 7. And that's the answer to the problem. Okay, of course you could easily figure out B, right? We know that A plus B equals 180. So you could do 180 minus 148. You could solve for B to be 32 degrees. And we can take a look and see that it does look to be around 150 degrees. Looks about right.